Hi there, my name is Alan and welcome to Design Dummy. In this video, we will be discussing the font matching feature in Photoshop, and I bet you didn't know about it. First of all, what is font matching? Well, it's a process of creating an identical version of an original font. And there are two ways to go about this process. First is to simply retrieve the source material or the source font. So it can be purchasing it, licensing it, or just downloading it for free. The second option is to create a replica using an already existing font that is very close to what you're trying to create. But it's not identical, it's identical to the perception of the user and the audience which is viewing it. So I've created an example kind of tutorial here to demonstrate how font matching works within Photoshop and how you as a designer can use it for your own ability and to also save time and hopefully some money. So the first font I have here, it's not actually a font. So if we select this layer, it's just an image, as you can see. It's literally, it's just a flat rasterized layer. And below is the same text in terms of the actual words which are being displayed. But what I'm trying to achieve is to copy the font at the top to the font at the bottom. So at the bottom, it's actually a font layer. At the top is a screenshot of something I found on the web. And let's create a scenario where my client has asked me to create a poster and match this particular font. What am I going to do? Well, what I can do is create, I can select this layer and then go to Type and Match Font. And as I select Match Font, Photoshop will display this kind of area, this selection area, which you can move around. So I'm just going to crop around it like so. And I'm going to move this image and then select all of this text just like so. Now you can see on the right side, Photoshop is searching fonts, and they are searching fonts within the Creative Cloud, which is part of the Adobe package, and they also have a library of free fonts which are included with the purchase of this software or this subscription. So as we can see, Photoshop has indeed found some fonts. Now, you might be wondering at this point, great, so all I have to do is click on this and the font will magically install. In the perfect world, that would happen, but in today's tutorial, the way this functions is that it's just displaying the name of the font which Adobe is keeping inside of its ecosystem and library, and that font is available for download. So as we can see, if we kind of squint our eyes and we try and match to our best ability, I think this one, Poppins Extra Bold, looks very close actually to the original font. And how am I basing this decision? Well, I'm looking at all the individual characters of this font. I'm particularly looking at the A character, and it looks like the Poppins Extra font has that rounded A lowercase character, which I'm after. So what I'm going to do is take a mental note that this font is indeed called Poppins Extra Bold. Then I am going to press OK, and nothing really happened. So Poppins Extra Bold is the font which we need. Now we can go to Adobe Fonts, so fonts.adobe.com. Make sure you're signed into your Adobe account, which correlates to the account which you're working with on your computer. Once you have done that, you'll simply search the name of the font which was initially displayed on the Photoshop dialog. And as we can see, I already have this one installed, but just for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll click into this font family, we'll scroll down until we find what we're looking for exactly. So in our case, it could be an extra bold or bold. We'll just try and find the right one here. We can even use Command F, and then we can perhaps even search the name bold, and that might help us locate it. So let's have a look here. We have extra bold, which actually looks ideal. So we can press our little icon or this little activation button, and this will automatically download the font into the Photoshop ecosystem. Let's have a look if we can find, there we go, Poppins Bold. So this is exactly what we were looking for. So we'll press this activation button on the right side, and now we can hide our browser window. Go back to Photoshop, select this initial text, which is currently in Arial, and then simply search the name Poppins Bold. And as we can see, magically, this font has propagated across to Photoshop software. Now let's just have a look. Yes, I can see it's not exactly right. And now we have something that's very, very close to the original font. And if we just press the tick icon, we can see it matches it quite nicely, actually. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, Alan, yes, but it's not an identical per se. It's very close. And that's the idea of this demonstration, is that not all the time are you going to be perfectly able to match fonts, particularly large corporations who create fonts and typefaces for themselves. It's not going to be available in the public domain. So if you want to copy something exactly and it's not available, you have to use this font matching feature to get something very close. Now, in this particular instance, there's also other ways to go around it in case you're not happy with what Photoshop's font matching feature has displayed, since it's only actually displaying what it's included in the Adobe Creative Suite. So there's another option as well. If we go back to our browser, and then we can go to myfonts.com/pages/whatthefont. Now, What the Font is a kind of magical service which uses artificial intelligence and the library and collection of fonts from all around the world. And the beauty of this is that you can actually just upload a JPEG into this container, and it will search the web and try and match it to its best ability. So let's have a look and see how this all functions. So if I just press this upload button here, and I already have this screenshot which I took earlier, and then I'm just going to upload it into this software, we can see it's trying to pick up the kind of words. I'm okay with this, and I'm just going to press identify font. Let it load a little bit, and as you can see, we have a perfect match. This font right here. Now, it's not free, it's a paid font. I'm from the UK, and it's available for £20, which is a reasonable price for the font. You'll be surprised at the cost of certain fonts out there and what people charge. It's ridiculous, but it's available. Now, we have two options. We can purchase, or we can scour the web and find something which may be available for free. So that's the second option, and it's just another way to go around font matching. Now, you know, is this a useful feature? Let's talk about, is it a useful feature? I think so. I think it's a really good feature. I mean, certain people that maybe, you know, don't want to leave this Photoshop ecosystem and want to really concentrate on the artwork and just want to kind of stay within the Adobe kind of way of life, and they don't want to search and download and extract .zips and move the fonts into your font library. You know, this propagation that occurs when we search within the Adobe ecosystem, and it automatically, magically funnels those fonts into the Adobe software, it creates for a very unique and satisfying user experience. So consider using it, and yeah, hopefully it'll help you with your design journey. And whether you're new or an advanced beginner, or even, you know, as a professional, some people have never used this feature. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next one.